Hi, good afternoon. Welcome back to our next session. Before we start, I'd like to announce today's winner for the haiku contest that we ran as part of City Scripts. So we have shortlisted Amrita Sengupta's haiku. So congratulations, we'll be getting in touch with you with the details for it. We will now start the second afternoon session for today, which is a public art walk. We'll be traveling to Essen, Germany today through a recording that Gábor has very kindly made for us. So Gábor, who's a visual and street artist, he provides an overview of how street art or graffiti can appear in public spaces. Beginning with the smallest tag, the signature, the video works its way up to elaborate murals as he lists the different methods and approaches. He also touches on the approval or disapproval with which the interventions are met, which is absolutely of secondary importance to Gábor. Before we start, I'd like to quickly introduce Gábor to you also. Gábor has been painting and conquering public space since 1992. His work begins in the mind. Everyday experiences, inspiring conversations, and his immediate environment, his family, friends, and artists who accompany him along the way result in combinations that are difficult to explain and that move him to put them into practice. When ideas are put into practice, he knows what he wants and he knows what the results that he wants from them. And he uses various resources depending on the kind of artwork that he's creating. So thank you so much for joining us, Gábor. Should I start with the video, or would you like to say something before we begin?
I think you can start if you want.
Okay, great. So we'll start with the video and then we'll be moving on to a conversation. Cool. So could we have the video up, please?
Street art and graffiti artist since '92. Hello everybody, welcome to my small little video of graffiti and street art in my town. My name is Gábor Doleviczényi. I'm a street art and graffiti artist since '92. Hello everybody, and I'm happy to be part of the City Script Festival this year. And today I'm going to show you my view on graffiti and street art, how it started with little tags, got bigger with style writings, and end up in big mural art pictures like this one. Graffiti and street art. How it started with little tags, got bigger with style writings. So what you see here in the background, it's a piece done by me a few years ago. It's called The Kiss, and it shows women and a man kissing each other under the night sky full of stars. So for me this is a picture that's really an emotional thing. And while I painted this wall, I got into troubles because we are on a playground for kids, and I got to stop this work because the people around here in the corner, they said or got scared because when I started to work on this picture, it was like fully black, and the thought was, they thought like it would stay black, and it's not the right thing for a playground like this. But at the end, when it was finished, everybody was happy, and I got much props for this work. Okay, we will start now a little journey. We will visit several places. We will go taking the train. We will drive on the highway, and we will visit a few places which I think is really spectacular, where you can find really nice fine art. So I want to show you the starting points, which were like tags, like the signature of a style writer, a graffiti artist. The graffiti artist, he will do it like everywhere. He want to be the most seen person in his town. So like an outstanding person, you can see this like a competition. The graffiti artist use his city, his streets, like a playground, and he will find the most seen places to mark it and to put his signature on it. So this is an example of a door where everyone puts his name. As you can maybe read, it's Ares, A-R-E-S, and we have Amber, and we have Loop and Arbor, and these are different guys or groups who are playing this game. So mostly they are young and wild, and for different reasons they want to play this game. So what we see here are like electric boxes from the public support, and these are places where graffiti writers like to put the signature because they will not get cleaned up. And when we have a look closer, we will find some names that we saw already before on the door. Come closer. So we have Erik, E-R-I-K, from the 134 crew. And we have Loop and Arbor again. So here we are in a little park where the youth in the summer hang around, drink beer, smoke cigarettes. And as you see, you find graffiti as well in the background. And we will find 134 again. So I think they will hang around here. And when we go, you see other groups and names have placed their pieces as well. Okay, now just to give you an impression about the size of graffiti, because you almost find it everywhere, we will take a small ride on the highway where you can see some graffitis as well. So somehow graffiti looks for me like the tattoos of concrete and steel constructions. A little stop at the highway because I'm not sure if you got the right impressions while we are riding the car on the highway. So let's have a look on the highway. After a little discussion, we decided not to take the train. So we are right now next to the railways to show you how much graffiti you will find in public space. So it's really a lot.
Gleis 10 Einfahrt S1.
Schützen Sie sich und andere, halten Sie bitte den Mindestabstand ein. Okay guys, we're at the main station. I have to wear this mask because of Corona. In the back you see that graffiti guys even play this game on public transport. This is the perfect canvas because it goes from city to city and is seen by the most of people. Here we are at the really big road where a lot of cars pass by. A lot of people can see the spots that are done by graffiti artists. And for me it's impressive because it's really difficult to reach the spots. And as you can see, graffiti also sometimes can be like political, because you will read the message that the Homo sapiens, so us human, are the virus. Sometimes graffiti and street art also can have a really nice message like this. So here we are at the riverside of my town. In the summer, this is a good visited places. You can rent a boat, take your ride, or even people go swim here, because slowly the water quality got really better and better. But we are here because of one really unique artwork done by two artists by night. It shows 100 kind, or almost 100 kind of faces. And if you watch carefully, even Ganesha is here. And on the other side, on the bridge, you see, similar to a Hall of Fame, but this is not a Hall of Fame. It's a group artwork done with a concept background, kind of winter theme. Even with Santa Claus. A different form of street art could be to put a paper painted on the wall. Here you see wild letterings on paper next to a lot of stickers. Sometimes you really have to look close to find some artworks. Here we will find a nice street art done on paper. It's a really old one and one of my favorite artists here in town. It's done by Gigo Propaganda. Let's have a look. Here we are at a place called Hall of Fame. It's a legal place where everyone can practice his styles. And as you see, it's a quite messed up place. See, somehow all of the artwork done here, they look a little the same. But yeah, this is what it's about. You put your name and maybe you share the colors of your background. You put your outlines, your highlights and some effects. And finally you put your tag next to it. And tomorrow another graffiti guy will come and will paint all over it. So this place really changed a lot. Now we are here on some legal works done by some professional graffiti writers. And to be honest, when I see guys like me painting on a Hall of Fame, I really found it a pity, because I definitely prefer it if they organize themselves the possibility to paint the wall legally and to place some really colorful and nice pictures like this. The sun is coming out right in the right moment. So now we are in the far north of our city under a highway bridge, where once in a year a unique part of the graffiti scene of Germany and foreign countries meet, and we call it the Hafendampf. It's a graffiti jam. For one weekend we are here under this bridge. We will listen to music, we will dance, we will have fun, drink a beer. And meanwhile, there will be a lot of walls get painted. So we're gonna make a little walkthrough where I don't want to say anything. You just watch these nice pictures. And yeah, let's have a look. The following pictures are done by an international art project called Wende Südost. During this mural art festival, 3.5 kilometers were painted by 24 different artists. The next wall was part of a cultural project called Walls of Vision. The owner of a big company, he's an art collector of romantic classic paintings. And he gave the order to contemporary street artists to make a remix of well-known paintings to get these pictures connected to young people. So the wall is done by Telmo and Miele. It's a duo from Holland, from the Netherlands. And as you see, it's quite nice.
Zoom machen.
Behind me is the Folkwang Museum, the biggest museum of our town, with a well-known collection of very famous art pieces. And in the summer, or in a moment where this museum is opened, you will see a lot of windows. So if you visit this museum, the nice thing is, if you look out of the window, you will see one of my artworks. In the back you see a nice example where street art meets commercial. It's a shop where you can buy ice in different flavors, and the street artist has made the outside of this shop. And next to it I want to show you a house with a big jungle on it. The owner of the house, he has a project to protect rainforest, and that's why he ordered an artist to paint his house like this. The next artwork is done by a young artist who lives in the backyard of this house. It's a private owned house and a free artwork, which is really nice because you will find a lot of illusions in it. Let's have a look closer.
Am Ende kommt noch so eine Schrift, Kamera.
We come to the end of my little journey of street art and graffiti in my town. In the back you see the biggest picture done by my agency. It's over 1,000 square meters high and big, and it was painted by 8 artists during a time of 3 months. So the funny part of this picture, if you look closer, you will find some friends that we made during the time spending in Bangalore, India. It's Sylvester and Priyam, 2 dancers from the Atakalari dance studio, and Gupta, a worker from the Goethe-Institut, who helped us to organize material and stuff for our exhibition and our project 1 month of urban avant-garde. So I hope you enjoyed this little video. You saw a lot of different stuff, and we will see in the video chat. All the best to you. See you soon. Bye.
Hi, Gábor, thanks so much for this. It really felt like we were transported to Essen in Germany. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So I'd like to actually just start by, because I mean, you and I had a long chat just while we were just talking about the video and the work that you do. So if you could just tell people a little bit about yourself and how you got started with street art and graffiti, and why you chose that as a medium instead of, any other form.
Yeah, how it started is maybe during the years as a young guy in school. I was sitting in the back of the room, not listening to the teacher, instead of doing some sketches and images in my books with my pencil. And as a teenager, I found friends who were into this graffiti game, and somehow it catched me up. And over the years, I developed a passion for creating big images. And for sure, I was also part of this wild game, like spray painting my names or my characters all over. These were years that I don't want to miss in my life, because it was really exciting. Sneaking around by night, reaching targets, and somehow find the gap to put some marks wherever. So we went like all over Europe. In every big town we had our connections. We were part of a big network, and I met a lot of different people of different levels who like shared this passion. It was from lawyer to worker to teacher to unemployed. So there was everyone was into this game. And after school, I studied communication design in Düsseldorf, in a neighbor town. And during the studies, I already realized that there's a possibility to earn money out of this passion. So after working for a company, I decided to start my own business in 2007, and I realized that that I can run my life with this passion. So what better can be in life that you can create images and live your passion and get paid for it. So it's great. And also this passion got me into foreign countries. So with Goethe-Institut, I visited a lot of countries, and I was in Bangalore as well. We painted walls in Malleshwaram. I'm really thankful and happy to have this opportunity to create images and put them in public space, which I definitely find important, because it's for everyone. So it's a gift for the public. So yeah.
No, that's really lovely. And like you said, it's really living a dream, that if you can get paid for something that you love and you get to travel the world and meet new people, I think that's the most that we can ask for. So we would like to know, it's so strange, because we're all sitting in India. There are people who are joining us from different parts of the world, and it's getting hot here, but we see you in a jacket and covered in snow. And but the one thing that's been common has been this pandemic experience for all of us. So what was it like for you to go out and create your art during the lockdown? And did it change in any way your routine, or just how you went about painting?
Yeah, changes happen for sure, because often I do workshops with kids and teenagers. So this stopped definitely totally. It was difficult to find possibilities to earn money. It got me into a difficult situation. Yeah, you can say it like this, I think. But on the other side, I think the government, they created a lot of support for people like me. So I got a little of funding to create projects, which I will start right now. So next month I will do a big wall with a free motif on it, where I'm happy about. And from the guys in the graffiti scene, or from the movement that don't ask for permission, I heard that it was they had a profit out of it, because we had to stay at home, so no one was outside, and it made it much more easier to paint walls outside. So this is what I heard,
Right. Did you ever get into trouble when you said that as a kid, when you were younger, you would like sneak in and you'd like to leave your mark? Any runs with, did you ever get into trouble for your art, or like trying to like paint a wall that you shouldn't have?
Yeah, I can say that proudly I was always faster than the cops running behind me. So no, to be serious, for sure, I know a lot of persons who really messed up their life and got in huge problems, financial problems, for sure. But this is a risk that I think everyone who is who is playing this game is he knows what he's doing. So yeah, for sure, you can get arrested. You can get like to pay a high amount of money. So the only problem I got into was the Netherlands. So I did not visit this country for about 10 years, I think, because I knew if I got there, I would got arrested. So yeah.
Good that you're still around here. I remember you telling me that you didn't think that you, like personally for you that, I mean, of course, like there were changes in terms of like work and all, but I like the fact that, I mean, I remember you telling me that because you anyway wear a mask when you're working. So when the coronavirus happened, this shift that was for many people to wear a mask and to get used to that wasn't a problem that you faced because anyway you were using that on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, for sure. Normally we really wear this heavy mask, which is much more difficult to breathe, to use it. So this small little paper mask, for sure, I wear it everywhere I go. I think that's a need to do it for the rest of our society. So yeah, I don't have a problem at all to wear this mask. I do it.
Yeah, that's great. We have a few questions coming in.
Nice.
Yeah. And so one of the first questions is like, I know for the last mural, you mentioned that it took you about 3 months to make it, but typically how long does, a complete wall mural take? Because you showed us like a variety of different kinds of works also.
Yeah, it depends on what kind of motive you do. No? For sure, I think the spray paint is a tool that makes it really easy and fast to create complex pictures because it covers well and it dries very fast. So you can work easily and fast and get to fast results. But if you do 1,000 square meters and you work with 8 guys on a picture, so this needs a lot of organization and yeah, so then it takes longer. In general, for me, I think like I can be focused and concentrated for 6 hours to work. In between, I need a break. But yeah, you can finish a wall of 200 square meters in 5 days easily, even faster. And yeah, if you watch how fast the illegal part of this creative graffiti game is, and you can imagine that they will find gaps and create I don't know, 100 square meters in about 20 minutes. So this can go. It's like a choreograph, and yeah, a lot of people like doing the same and be focused. So it can be really fast. You can be very slowly as well. So depends.
What's the longest that you've spent on a piece of art?
Yeah, I think this 1,000 square meters and 3 months of painting was the longest work we did. We have a similar sized piece that we did for the same company. It's an electricity company. So this was around about the same time. But yeah, that would be the longest time.
Right. So we have another question from Rekha, and she'd like to know, she said, graffiti in public spaces run the risk of being considered as vandalism. Are there any laws in place to protect graffiti artists and the work that you do?
What I found interesting is that we have a discussion starting right now where like museums and art collectors, they realize the value of certain art pieces, and they want to put it into the collection of the museum, for example. So this brings up interesting questions of who owns the picture and what kind of amount it takes of money to, because if you put it into your collection, art collection, you have to to find an insurance for it. Like if it gets destroyed, how much money you will get to restore it or save it. And this is an interesting discussion going on, because there's an Italian artist who's called Blue. He painted a lot of nice pictures in public space, and a museum took it off the wall somehow, which is really like a very technical process, but they managed to save it. But the artist himself, he said like, no way, you didn't ask me, and it's a gift for the public, so I don't want to be owned by some museums. And he destroyed all the rest of his pictures. He overpainted gray, which is really pity, but on the same time it's really radical minded. But in general, I think you see a big movement to clean up walls and to have a clean private property in public space. It's like Hannah Vogt said with this Oslo library, you love it or you hate it, no? It's somehow the same, yeah.
Yeah, no, but it's an interesting conversation, right? Because especially when we're talking about street art and graffiti moving into a museum, because it's also the idea that you're changing the just the thought behind art in public space. Because if you pick up art that's meant for the public and you put it in a building or in an institution, you're changing its texture. It ceases to be street art. You can't call it that then, right?
Right.
So is that something that you constantly grapple with your work? Or is it, or have you found a way to kind of deal with it in some way?
I think it's a high competition for a curator who wants to curate an exhibition of street art in a white cube space. So this needs a very innovative way of presentation, because there was in the past there was a lot of failure that graffiti was like it was presented like you have an empty canvas, please put your graffiti on this and we will show this graffiti inside of the museum, which end up in a totally boring situation. But if you look around, you will find a lot of really nice solutions. For myself, I'm really a fan of Os Gêmeos, which is a twin duo from Sao Paulo. They do really nice works, and they have a whole team behind them who like create sculptures and stuff. So it's really an adventure to visit this exhibition finally in the museum's place. But I think graffiti and street art belongs to the public space, belongs under the sky, and that's the place where you should experience it.
Yes, we couldn't agree more. We have another question. I think we have two questions which are almost similar. So one is, how powerful has graffiti art been in conveying serious social and political messages? And I'll just read out the next question because it's similar, because it says, does graffiti art have the potential to transform into a serious public or civic movement with the support of the community?
That's an interesting question. First of all, I always would like to say that if you look the art world in the past, how much artists were taking part of the expressionism, or then I always come to the solution that graffiti is like the biggest movement ever took place on this planet. Like there are 1,000 of graffiti writers playing a game which is like a visual pollution growing like a cancer disease all over the big cities. I think it's belong to big cities where really like people live anonymous, no one realize them, and it's participating in public space in a way. It's not always love and creativity that you see. Often you see like frustration and for sure vandalism, and it's aggressive in a direct way, you know, because you disrespect private property, and I think it's very powerful, and it shows a big disease in our time, in our contemporary time, because our biggest disease, our biggest problem is egoism. So they show egoism in a radical form because they only want to see themselves, boom, 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 everywhere. And then on the other side, you see growing out of this big mass, critical mass of graffiti, unique persons who are really like creating their own unique form of ID. And then you see like wonderful pictures. And so I don't know, I think everything belongs together in a way. So there are bad things and good things being united in this art form. And it's I think a really big movement, never seen before.
Great. We have another question from Chanveer, who would like to know if you do you work on a concept before you implement it, like before you actually do the actual street art?
Depends on the situation. If you get hired by a company and they will give you a certain briefing, what they would like to see in your image, for sure I'm able to do it. And then this needs a lot of thinking and a lot of sketching and brainstorming. And for sure we will have presentations and work it out finally to visualize it. If I do my free artworks, often for myself, it's okay if I have a little sketch, because I know I will manage to put the right proportions on the big wall finally. And if it's just a fun part meeting with other artists and we mesh up a wall, then it can be really like a fast brainstorm, and you put your ideas together, and that are quick decisions made up, and you just want to have fun, and somehow it will work together finally. So there's a lot of trust in it, and we just do it.
That's great. We have another question from Sophia, who would like to know, is there graffiti pertaining to contemporary German music and sport? Do we see a lot of maybe, I guess, popular culture being represented through street art?
Yeah, you see this new form of running in urban spaces, which is called parkour. I would say graffiti is a slow form of parkour, because you also climb and sneak and do stuff like this. Together with I was doing stage design for a choreographer for contemporary art, contemporary dance, and he said, like, if you see graffiti guys painting a train, 3 guys working on one message, and they do it really fast, then you can compare it with contemporary dance, because they really they move. There's really like every second is everyone knows what to do, because they have to finish in between 10 minutes a piece of graffiti. So this is like a dance movement. You can compare it with this. Yeah, and then if you want to compare it with music, for sure. Graffiti and street art grew out of the hip hop culture, for me, and then you have like beatboxing, you have MCing, you have DJing, you have breakdance and graffiti. So for sure you have to compare it with hip hop music, rap music. That's definitely. But for myself, I would say. There's also space to compare it with punk music and heavy metal music, for sure. little bit faster and more aggressive. So if you want, you can compare it with classic music as well. So maybe you find some Bach into it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just about the mood, right? How you're making it.
Sure.
Yeah. We have a question from YouTube, actually. What kind of tools do you use, and is it hard to collect everything and run when the situation worsens? So if you're being chased by the cops, how quick do you have to be?
I think for a serious graffiti writer who's just working by night, he has to put a lot of effort and money into his equipment, and I think he will leave it behind very often while he was seen by someone. And when I was young and doing graffiti, there was no mobile phone, so it took more time that the cops will come. But nowadays, everyone can call the police right immediately in this moment. So I think there will be you will find outside a lot of spray cans and lasers and tools for putting color on the wall. That will be around everywhere, but if you do a commercial work, we will hire a metal box where we will put our material, so that you can leave your material at the spot and start in the next day and have everything at the spot to continue work, because it's a lot of stuff to carry. You cannot carry it every day.
So what would we typically see in your metal box? Just if you could just describe the kind of tool. We know that there's spray cans, and what else would you typically find?
How you call it? Glue tape? Masking tape?
Yeah.
For sure. Then we use Tetra Pak. This is paper, stiff paper with plastic on it to cut stencils. You will find sharp knives to cut the stencils. You will find gloves to protect your hands. You will find masks, and then all kind of colors. And it's not always like just spray paint. It's also like normal paint that you use for the outside of houses. Yeah, this kind of stuff you will find. And there are a lot of different tools. So when you look the video carefully, you will maybe find some spots where like they refill this red bottles, where if you have a fire in your house or somewhere, you can kill the fire with this
extinguisher.
How you call it?
Fire extinguisher.
Yeah, and so you will put out this white powder and put paint inside and use this for putting your color high up into 5 meters with a lot of pressure, and then it goes fast. So yeah, I always find it interesting if creative artists reinvent stuff and find new forms. So I also like it if they paint on papers and put it somewhere, and I like it if they have a reference to the place where they put it, that it makes sense, and it can be developed.
Right. Yeah. We don't have any more. I have a question for you, because when we were talking last time, there's something very fascinating that you said, that because you have legal walls where you can do your artwork, and because these are spaces that have been allowed by the city to kind of, to showcase your art, that if you do, it keeps changing, that the murals or the artwork keeps changing, because somebody would just come and kind of paint over it, and maybe in 2 days you'll see something else in the same spot. So I was just curious, because it also, one thing is it makes it very transient, that it's not like whatever, all your effort, no matter how large your canvas is, it'll change eventually because somebody else will come and paint. So how do you kind of think about your work? Because it's not permanent then. So do you kind of do it with the sense that it might not be there in a week's time? Is it something that you kind of, does it bother you if somebody comes and paints over your artwork?
That's a complex scene, this Hall of Fame stuff. in general, if you do graffiti, it will survive by taking a photo of it. So that's what the graffiti guy who is doing illegal stuff, he will collect photos and put them into the internet. I don't know, there are a lot of channels and magazines, and maybe he has this book at home or it's at a hidden place, and then he can put it out and show it to others. The Hall of Fame is like really, it's a place for young people to practice without destroying private property, which is nice and important. But in the same time, yeah, it will change. That's part of it. So it will change very, very fast. If you see this long wall, it can be like in a total new image 2 days after you saw it before. But this means also that this whole effort and creativity and all these images, they are really like focused on this one place, which I really found pity, because you have a, I don't know how to say in English, but fluctuation. It disappears very fast. So if you are just like not into this scene and you look it from outside, you will see just this messed up place. So that's because I said in the video, I've really found it pity if you just overpaint and overpaint and overpaint, and at the end it's just this messed up place. So I would definitely say, like, please leave these places for the ones who really need to practice and who don't want to sneak out by night and destroy something, who are really into this creative process. And yeah, for myself, I would say, like, I would go to house owners and start to discuss if I get the possibility and to paint it and yeah, to work on a nicer public space, which is colorful and unique, and yeah, give the people who live there the possibility to identify with their place where they live, with their home. Like I would love to see if people say, like, I'm proud to have this picture here. So it makes my neighborhood nicer, and yeah, that's what it's about at the end for me.
That's great. Thank you. I think I don't think we have any more questions. So I just like to thank you again, Gábor, for creating that lovely video. It really, I mean, I know we were all sitting and watching it, and every artwork was just so phenomenal and so in detail. And it really felt like we were transported, and we were actually quite grateful for the snow, because it felt like we were also in cooler climate. Oh, sorry, there is, Hannah actually has a question. Sorry. She said, well, I think it's a comment. So Hannah says, it's like Keith Haring did, taking photos in Calc Library. We developed an interactive graffiti wall. The kids can produce graffiti with the iPad as a collaborative piece of artwork on an electronic wall, so that they can save it electronically, I suppose, so that work continues. So I suppose, like you said, that there are different ways of doing this. And I think it's also nice when people innovate with their ideas in terms of art and public art then.
Yeah, like Hannah Vogt said before, like you always have to change to be yourself. So yeah. I think my home has to change to be my home, you know. Yeah, that's it. You know, it should be a process always. Yeah. Don't think that something will last forever. It's not true at the end, you know.
That is true. I think that's a good note for us to end this at. So once again, Gábor, thank you so much. This has been really wonderful, and thank you for taking out the time and being so generous with your time, your art, with your experiences. We're hoping that people come back and watch the video, and if there are any questions that come our way, we'd love to be able to share it with you for you to answer later.
I do my best, and I want to thank you for the invitation. It was a nice chance for me to present a little bit of this art form, and I'm happy. Thank you.
Yes, we're also very happy. Thank you. I hope you have a nice Sunday. Hopefully we'll see you soon again.
Okay, all the best to you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us. Our next session is going to start at 6 o'clock, which is a playback theater performance. It's going to be an interactive form of theater, and there are limited seats. So please log in as early as you can. 6 o'clock we start, so you can start logging in slightly before, and we'll be starting with the performance then. So we'll see you later.